We have liftoff, we have connection. I understand, so thank you. All right, let's get started. So thank you, everyone. This is the first time I've used Zoom hooked up to Facebook Live. It's really easy to use and connect, and we'll see in the next few minutes just how well it goes in terms of technology. So I'm just going to have the Facebook group here for any questions, but I've got a list of questions here as well. But I want to start off in inbox and the whole overwhelm of inbox and share a philosophy with you. So I want to share a story to illustrate inbox and the whole theory of how you think of email inbox. So the story is, if you imagine a warehouse in the middle of Auckland, which is used for storing widgets, shall we say. Let's say that warehouse just got fuller and fuller, and then there was no room in that warehouse to put anything more in. That warehouse was so full that you couldn't get any more in. And then you wanted to distribute that. It was packed up to the ceiling, and you wanted to then have an order of that widget going out to one of your customers. It would be mayhem, don't you think, for trying to then distribute from a warehouse that's full to the roof that you couldn't actually move. It just gets crazy. The thought of trying to distribute that is just beyond belief. I think you'd be agreeing. So think of your email like that. Your email inbox, you want to move from thinking of your inbox as a distribution center, as a storage center, into a distribution center. So what I mean is, if you go into your inbox and it's full of stuff up to the roof and you can't find things, then it can be mayhem. Or if you go to your mailbox, it was full of 1,000 letters, you can't find anything. So the theory is, shift your thinking. Your email and your inbox should be a distribution center rather than a storage center. So we're going to show you the philosophies of that and the technology for that, because there is some smart technology, especially if you're using G Suite, to be able to distribute your inbox and send it to different places so you can deal with it rather than having this email overwhelm. So that's the general philosophy of shifting your thinking. So in order to do that, I'm going to demonstrate Gmail or G Suite, and it is incredibly powerful for this. You can do it with Outlook or Office 365, but Gmail is very good because you don't delete any emails, you archive them. Let's do a demonstration of, as I'm talking. So I've gone through my inbox and I believe I've deleted anything that's sort of sensitive, just got newsletters here, and I better share screen, of course. That would help. So on my inbox, let's do a demonstration of inbox 0. So I've got 65 emails here, and I want to use inbox 0. So this concept of inbox 0 is, look at our inbox as a distribution center and not a storage center. So I want to send this away. So I will open up full screen so it's a bit bigger. So here, I've got a email here. Excuse me a moment. Got an email here. The theory being on your inbox, if it's going to take more than 30 seconds to 2 minutes to reply, you put it into storage and then empty it out of your inbox and archive it. But let's just take it one step at a time. So here, I use Trello, and there's, if you see on the right of my inbox, we want to send this email away from the inbox, but want to put it into storage. So Trello here is...
Yeah. Who on earth would a service now meeting in there?
Just got some background noise of someone able to move. It may have joined. I've hit the CRM. So this is my CRM, and I can put it straight into CRM. So I want to go to Trello, so it's my mistake. So let's go to Trello. And I put this straight into Trello, and I've got here's our team, and let's virtual assistant in the Philippines going to send that to her, and it's in the to-do list. We've got the today urgent, and so let's do that. And then I just press add at the bottom. Bang, that is gone out of my inbox. So that's something that doesn't need to be addressed. The rest of it, if we go to archive, we want to archive them. So if we hit the archive, go through here, these are all mostly newsletters that I've got today and a lot of stuff, nothing there that I particularly want to look at. So I scroll down, find something I want to look at and deal with it. It's going to take more than 1 or 2 minutes. I put it into Trello for myself to look at later, and so the inbox is in control. So I go through and I find anything interesting, and then here's the key thing. I press archive, and when I press archive, it is not deleted. This is where the Gmail system is so good. It's not deleted. It is archived into the background. So now I will jump out of that screen. It's now archived, so it's not deleted. What it's doing is I can now search for that. If I go to the search at the top, I'm just looking at, let's go to, I'm just going to a different screen. So here, in future, if I want to find that particular email that we just, if I can spell it, that we were just looking at from 12 o'clock today, it is there. So with Gmail, you don't go and set up a whole lot of folders, because you can imagine how good Google searches for finding these things. So I can find it there. And even though it's archived, it's out of the inbox, but it's still in our system. So we search things that way, and we get out of having a whole lot of folders, which just slows everything down. So then we have our inbox now under control. We've distributed anything that's going to take more than 2 minutes into Trello or whatever. There's via these integrations, there's all sorts of different things here. I've got Slack here. So we use Slack for our team to communicate. And then Evernote, so I store everything in Evernote. I've even got a Zoom integration, and there's calendar integration. I'll send something to the calendar if there's a different, I was going to find an example. I won't find examples. I haven't checked all the emails to see what I can use, but you can send an email into your calendar and it will actually include a calendar event of all the people that were in the email group. So it's just really efficient just to offload things into your inbox. So that's the theory of gaining control of your inbox. Any questions? I'll check. That's a very quick version of it. And then now you come back and you allocate time to going through, in this case it's Trello, and I'll go through and reply to my emails, or you can use the star feature if it's Gmail, and you can, anything that's going to take more than 1 or 2 minutes to deal with, you just come back and hit the star over here. There is actually other coding here. There's the color coding here as well. There's all these different ways of controlling your inbox to make sure that you have control and get out of this craziness of email overload. If you think of that example of your mailbox, if it had 1,000 letters in and you went out to get your mail each day, what would it look like? So I'm new to Zoom. This is the first time we've used the Zoom integration into Facebook Live. So if you've got questions, then I've got a few people joining now. The Zoom link, please ask away, or I'll see if I can. I've got a collection of questions here as well to cover. People have sent in, I'm going to go through. But if you've got questions on that, before we move on, please, let's look on Facebook to see Or if you've got any questions, please put them in chat or open up your microphone and dive in. All right, let's carry on there. It's a speed introduction to Inbox Zero and gaining control. The amazing, this is the setup for very easy to integrate Facebook Live with Zoom, particularly if you're familiar with Zoom. Rather than learning different packages, you can get it set up very easily. All right, had a question. Somebody has, and Moira, I guess we can use your name. You couldn't get on the call today, but you sent in the question of, you got 10,000 unread emails. So how do you do that and get on top of it? So the first thing is to archive everything. And what you do is you go to the top of where I hit the select all and archive, and then there's a search option there. It'll say search all, equivalent to that, and you can actually archive the entire 10,000 emails, and then you've got a feeling of control and you start afresh. And that's a fundamental way of getting control, having a benchmark, and then keeping Inbox Zero as the key thing. So I'll check any other questions. Or Ryan, if you are looking at chat, do you want to see if there's any questions? Because I can't see it right at this moment in the screen. All right. And Palace, shall we go to your question? There's a couple of questions you had. If you...
Yes, please, I do. If you can hear me, I can just say them out loud.
Yeah, sorry, I can. Yeah,
okay, so I was curious about how you could do a Zoom Facebook Live and interview someone else at the same time.
All right. I'm just seeing in the chat that the Facebook Live has stopped. Okay. All right, well, how you do that, Palace, is to have two people on the screen at interview once, then you go into, I'm just doing it, there is a setting here. I don't think I have it turned on, so I'll explain it to you. On the right hand side, or it doesn't have to be on the right hand side, where it's got all the photos of people that are online and the names, the drop down arrow, there is a two-way, there's an option of moving to a two-way interview. Sorry, I was just looking at chat. I need to focus on what I'm saying. Of two-way interview. So you go to the, hover over their name and their photo, and in the three little dots, you turn on two-way interview. And then that brings the two photos share and the videos sharing the full screen, and then you can record. How does that sound?
I think I have it. Is it under view options or the three dots on each square?
Did you say, I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, because view options has side-by-side mode.
That's it.
Okay.
All right. I'll stop sharing so that I can, because that might be why. That might be why. All right. Great. This is fun actually to learn this. Where did you say that was?
Under options, speak. Oh, now I've lost it. There was some. Darn it.
But that's exactly the wording that it was. The side by side.
Okay. Yes, it's. Now I've lost it. I'm looking at gallery view, speaker view, but there was something at the top where you could say, see view options, and one of the options was side-by-side mode.
All right.
But now I've lost it.
All right. one of the key things on Zoom is there's amazing level of features, but you actually have to go into the features and turn them on. So it sounds like you've got it turned on, and I'm wondering whether I do. All right, well, that's encouraging, and that we've almost solved that one with a little bit of research on exactly how to find that. Anything else, Palace?
I am checking what I wrote before. We had discussed other things, for example, eCam, but I don't know if you want to get into that now.
Yeah, we can certainly talk about it. Did you say you've got the free version? You got it? Yeah.
I bought some basic version a few years ago.
Yeah. It's very well regarded. I know I follow somebody on YouTube who uses it. It's a well-respected live streaming service. As we said in the chat and in this group with you, how confident do you feel about it, though, about using it? Have you used it much? Because
I've only used it to go live on Facebook as a solo presenter, and it does have a better photo quality. So the video quality is better. So that's nice. And it gives you some functionality about titling, etc. But I've never used it to interview someone else. And I see a lot of opportunity to do that right now. And however, for eCam, you have to connect it with Skype. And that was the red flag that went up, because I don't know your thoughts on Skype, but I've heard mixed reviews about how Skype is performing right now.
I'm not sure about that, other than my view of Skype is that it's not a business. It's not perceived by a lot of people as a business communications method. It's perceived as a family thing. And I know Microsoft are dropping Skype but for business as a business communication method, because they have investing a lot of money into Microsoft Teams to replace Skype for business. So it's really what you feel comfortable with. As it depends, and what are you wanting to achieve out of it? Are you wanting to get recordings later to use for other things, or?
Well, I just simply want to interview someone else on a Facebook Live, as opposed to just be me talking to everyone. I'd like to have one guest and then have the ability to talk back and forth with that one guest. It will record as live. It will go live and then record it, and as any Facebook Live would do. But that's essentially it. I just want a good quality way to connect with someone else and interview them live.
Great. I don't know the answer, but what I would suggest is, as I said in the Facebook page on that question, is if you're not so excited about or confident around technology, I'd be favoring probably just sticking to one that you use a lot and getting used to it. And I've personally really loved Zoom. And if you get really good at it, for example, the Facebook Live's dropped out over here in chat, but I'm just connecting it again. It's very easy to use, because all you do is, if you want to go live on any Zoom call, I've just activated it now. So hopefully we're live there again in the Facebook group. All you do is, as long as you've turned it on in the settings online in the Zoom web portal, then it just gives you those extra options on the bottom. So under more, you can say go live to Facebook or go live to YouTube. And it's literally as simple as that. And it just connects to, gives you the option of what groups you want to broadcast to or what pages you want to broadcast. So it's just really user-friendly and simple. They've just updated their software. Previously, some of the reports I was reading about Zoom and Facebook Live is it didn't work on every group. So, but they've just launching it, and the integration that I'm using today is still in beta, but it's the new version which has some nice features. So that'll be my thoughts on really getting to know something inside out. But I don't know eCam well enough to actually probably give you advice on that.
Okay, but thank you. That helps.
Brilliant. All right. Do we have other questions? All right, I'm just seeing chat there. It looks like, having just said how easy Facebook Live is, I'm seeing that people have been kicked out. And so that's interesting. It says at the moment, it gives me an icon that it's live. Right at the very top window, it is, I will just, it gives a little icon. I said to the people at the start that if you are okay for me to record this, if you're not, please just send me a message or an email or something so that I can take you out of the recording, just because this is going to be on Facebook, and love to use this video just as a I don't know, as some first run. All right, so unless there's any other questions, then maybe let's do one more thing. And this is the fundamental shift in thinking around email and documents. The general advice around, seeing we've talked about inbox zero and getting control of your inbox. Another fundamental thing is, as a general rule, never email an attachment. And what I mean by that is, I'll go into, the reason we don't send an attachment these days is that the cloud software has got so smart for collaboration that if you email an attachment, this is a generalization, there's obviously sometimes you do email an attachment, but don't email an attachment, because what you want to do is share the file in the cloud. And the reason you do that, if you email an attachment, what do they do when they get the email attachment? They save it, they whatever, and they muck around. So the point being, if you share in the cloud, then you can both edit the document at the same time, or you can decide, a lot of documents, you don't want them to edit it, you just want them to comment. But you don't have to attach it. It all happens in the cloud, it's live, and they can comment, and they don't need to then remember to attach it and send it back. It just sits in the cloud, and it all happens beautifully. And this is the big productivity game changer, getting out of blimmin' attachments. So I'll perhaps do a simple demonstration of that and go to, let's go to something, whoops, let's go into, got two accounts here, go into the right account. So let's choose a simple document, which is, here's an audio file. And so just in Google Drive, and here's a meditation. So this meditation that I recorded the other day and shared with somebody, didn't attach it. And I don't want to give away the identity of the person or people that I shared that with. So let's just go to that folder. If we click on the folder, I can share this folder with, and I'll put another one of my email addresses in there. And here it is. Yeah, it is. Or whatever. So I'll put a comment, and now that's will be shared with whoever you want. And here's the wonderful things. You control whether they have edit access, view access, or you can actually make it a public document. For a download, for a training event we did, made a few documents of that and put it public on the web. So if I have this public on the web and save that, then I can copy the link here. So I've now copied the link, and I put, is this even screen sharing?
No, it's not.
No, it's not, Rob.
My goodness, what an amateur. I will do the screen sharing and we'll wrap up after this in a couple of minutes. It's very interesting just to see how it works. Whoops. Do the share. Thank you for that, helping me out with. All right, share screen. All right, so I've just got into a document here, which was a meditation that I recorded. So I want to share the whole folder with them. So I go into right click on that folder and I'll do it again. So I right click on the folder and share, or I can go to the top right hand corner here and share it. And then I add their email address in here. And then I've got the choice here, whether or not they can view but this is the key one here. They can edit, they can view, and they can comment. And we've even got the public on the web. So if I select public on the web, then, and save that, then it gives me, I've just got to move the Zoom controls out of the way. Those that are familiar with Zoom know what I'm talking about. So go copy here, and then I go into here, and there is the document. Or it's actually the folder. The point being, if you get out of sending attachments and just share it here, then you can both edit it at the same time if it's a document you're working on, and you don't need to attach it with traditional attachments. You have versions that are old versions and you have the new versions, and you can get confused. And then if you don't save it in the right place, you get into mayhem. But if you just do this sharing, then it is just so much more efficient.
Rob, can I ask a question, please?
Yeah, please.
Just on that. So I use Dropbox a lot, and I've never used Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only recently got into Gmail use. And I know from what you say, there are so many things to learn about it.
Mm-hmm.
So are you suggesting that Google Drive is just like your Dropbox?
Yeah.
And it's just part of the system for Google, and you don't pay for storage like I do for Dropbox?
That's right. Do you have a G Suite paid account with Google?
No.
Yeah, so basically up here, if you're looking at the right hand side, there's these 9 dots and it opens up all these options.
Yeah.
The difference between Google Drive and Dropbox is that Google Drive is better, generally. There's one exception. And the reason Google Drive is better is this folder here, I can access it on my smartphone, and we can with Dropbox as well, but I can edit it. So these documents, if we go to new here, Google Drive has equivalent of the Word document and Excel documents and PowerPoint. They're all here. But on your mobile, you can edit these documents using the Google Drive app, which Dropbox you can't. So effectively, you can run your business from Google Drive and have complete control over all your documents from the phone. That's Dropbox can't do that. Dropbox have tried to catch up a little bit, and they've introduced some new document format, but that's the real advantage. The advantage with, sorry?
Is that only on the paid form of G Suite?
No, on the free Gmail accounts, it has exactly the same features. Well, not exactly the same features, but most of the same features. So you can run your business from there without paying for your Dropbox.
So if I was to do, for example, I write articles and I send them off to the organisation, normally I'd do that in a Word document and then attach it to an email.
Yeah, well,
So
Yeah.
what's my new way of doing that if I'm getting totally into G Suite?
All right. You go into whatever folder you want. So let's say it's under meditation, which we are here. If we just go new and go to a document, we've got the choice here whether we have a template, and there's some amazing templates which give you some beautiful looking documents you can use, but let's keep it simple and just create a new Word document equivalent of. It said, do I want to share it with the people in the folder? Because this document is now shared with whoever can access that folder. So if we want, we've now got a document, and the beauty of it, as we type, if you look it up here where the cursor is at the top of the document, as soon as I type, it saves it. So it's saving there.
Right.
But one of the best features, and this is how I started a book idea and wrote 250 words, sorry, 2,500 words by using, well, it was actually slightly different through the mobile, but if we go to under tools, voice typing, I'm going to finish that, Linda, on how you can then share this document, and it's just so much better than attaching. You're going to find massive time savings in doing this than attaching things. Under tools, if I go to voice typing, it's now going to translate whatever I say. So I'll press this microphone, and whatever I say, it will type it. Let's see how good it is at typing. Because Linda, you're going to love how you don't have to type again, because my typing's average, and I just love talking and thinking that the thing will actually, most of the time, get my voice right. Google has invested a lot of money in this, and it's really smart technology that they're getting better and better all the time. And I was talking to somebody today who said, well, what about full stops? They have to go through and edit it, but all you do is full stop, new line, full stop, full stop, new line. Okay, well, we haven't got the new line one worked out, but I'll press enter, and I've pressed enter. So that's not a bad thing to have to do, to press enter. On the mobile phone, via the iPhone, when I was writing the book, you just say new line and it works beautifully. Apple's got a slightly different setup, but it's so smart. So now let's finish off how we use this document. I'll press on the left here, turn off the microphone, and then it won't be recording me. So I'll call this whatever it is, test document, and then I can save it into the folder here. I can move it into a different folder if I want to, if I go back or wherever, but let's just cancel all that. So we've got a document here, and it's saved all the time here. So you never have to save it, but this is where the magic happens. We can go in here and we can make a copy. We can download it as a Microsoft, who would actually want to attach it, but occasionally you need to. You can email as an attachment, and this just opens up the email window just like this. And you email it from here as either a PDF or a Microsoft Word document, or you can, here's the thing I love, is email. You can email the people. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Email collaborators. So there's no collaborators in this document. So if I was to go to the top right-hand corner and share it with whoever, I won't, as we've already seen how to do that, then you can just go and you can send an email to all the people that are accessing this document. And you can also go to chat here and comment on this here and do various different things. So that's probably enough, unless you've got questions on understanding why. Oh, and the exciting thing is, I've done this many times now, this document is available on my mobile phone. All you need is the Google Drive app, which is default on Android and very common on an iPhone as well. And I can edit this. I can email it. I've got all these options. So I can run my business from the phone app. And it's amazingly powerful.
So Rob, when somebody then receives that, which is my article, we'll say,
Yeah.
it's just in the body of their email. So then do they then have to cut and paste in order to send it on to somebody else, say to the printer or the type?
No, what happens is that it sends an email, and in the email, it's a bit like an attachment. It says, open this file. And then when they open the file, it opens a window exactly the same as you see here. So this is what it looks like for them.
Right.
Is the same within the web browser, has this, and has the same options of editing, saving, and you can both be typing on a document. And I can actually see, if you and I were both on this document, I can see where your cursor is right now, and we can both edit it and so forth. Is that what you're meaning?
Yeah, I was just meaning how that, so they actually get it as a file, but they don't really have to open the file. I'm just wondering, why then do you not just send a Word document?
Oh,
Apart from all them being able to access it and change things, which I wouldn't want, wouldn't be the norm.
yeah, I was going to find one from the virtual assistant, just use an example, and I don't have anything quite easily to look at, but
Oh well, I'll send you something.
yeah. So, but essentially the summary of that question is, they get an email, and when I share it, I've write in the body of it what a message is, and then so they just get a normal email, and at the bottom there's a link to open the document, and it just opens and looks like this document. Does that answer it, sort of?
Yeah, I learn by doing, especially with technology. So I'll have a go at that because I'm sure I've received files from other people, and then I actually can't find the file to open. So that's probably what it is.
All right. Well,
Yes.
if you wanted to, if you're happy for me to enter your email address in here, I could
Yeah.
share it with you now, or I'll do it at a later date either.
Yeah, well, you can just put it in now. Outcomes at unlimited at extra.co.nz.
What? Sorry.
Outcomes
Outcomes
unlimited
unlimited
at extra.co.nz.
Right. And so I'm saying you can view it at the moment, but I'm going to change it to you can edit it. So if I send that to you, and it's saying there's not a Google account attached to that, but you have 14 days to edit it. If there's a Google account attached to that, then you can edit it forever. But here's the key thing. It's easier to find that document in the future if you go to, you can file all your documents under Google Drive into different folders. But if we just type, I'm trying to remember, test, or I didn't even spell it right, but it gives me test document here. So we'll get out of the habit of, we still want to categorize our documents into folders, but here, if we put this document, if we just use the search here, we can, and we have a good naming protocol, we can find all our documents really easily. So that's how in the future, Linda, if it's shared with you, you can find everything easily without having to go through the inbox and find the attachment from 4 years ago and so forth, if you know what I mean. Has that arrived yet, Linda?
Yes, it has.
do you want to share your screen and show us what it looks like?
Oh, I'm just on my mobile.
Oh, no, it doesn't matter. I just,
Yeah, I see clearly where it says open in docs. Yeah, got it.
great. All right, well.
Oh. And the other thing, Rob, I did try to move my emails to draft, and now I can't access any of them. So obviously I didn't do something. I better go back in and see what I did.
You moved them to draft, did you say?
Yes.
I'm not sure what you mean. Do you want to expand?
So like you said, you select all, for all your, I won't tell how many emails I've got in my Gmail,
Yeah.
a few, and all very important, of course. And so I did select all and then moved to draft. And then when I went to draft, they weren't there.
Okay, so it's actually archive is what we want. So,
I think it was the archive. Oh, right. Well, I didn't go to the archive part. I went to the draft part. Okay, silly me. So that's okay. I'll work on that.
so yeah, there is the archive. I'm just I can do. Yeah, so I was going to perhaps demonstrate, but maybe we should look to wrap it up now.
Yeah.
And this is other questions there on that, Linda?
No, it's good. I'll just have a little sort, and if I can't spot it, I'll just give you a quick message. That's okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Lovely. Thank you.
All right, it looks like the Facebook Live may have dropped out, so that's very interesting. The confidence in how wonderful this is being diminished. So to wrap up, thank you everybody for joining. It was a bit of an experiment to see how all of this works and see if it is possible for our Facebook Live to do it easily. So we'll look into why that dropped out and going to do this weekly. So if you have topics that you'd love to know, then please let me know and we can cover them and have a focus of something that I'll demonstrate, then go to open questions after that. So please let me know if you don't want your recording to be used and that I can edit something out, but it doesn't look like there's even any names here. Oh, there's. So thank you, everybody. Look forward to any questions in the chat or in the Facebook group if you have them. And thank you, everyone, for participating today. And I hope you have a marvelous day. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Rob.